One of Ohio's top lawmakers stopping in Cincinnati today. U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown was here pushing for a stronger response to the opioid and fentanyl epidemic.
And 9 on your side's Marielle Carbone actually spoke with the senator today. And Marielle, we know this is a big problem statewide. What did the senator have to say?
Well, if you look at the numbers here today, there have been more than 600 calls and responses from our EMS to heroin overdoses. And just in one weekend, there was double-digit calls coming in. So that's why lawmakers from the top down to our local officials are supporting efforts to keep the drug, specifically fentanyl, out of our country.
Time has numbed us to the issue.
But it's not going anywhere.
Still a huge issue, yes.
Heroin and other drug overdoses are still happening in Cincinnati. And with fentanyl being thrown into the mix, local leaders say it's getting worse.
The United States is in a drug epidemic, but a fentanyl crisis.
To date, Cincinnati EMS workers have answered 656 calls for heroin overdoses, with 181 happening in June alone. And in one weekend that month, the calls hitting double digits.
When you have 50 to 60 people overdosing in a weekend, double digits people dying from a drug, it is important that we put pressure on those countries that are producing it.
That's why local leaders are supporting federal legislation backed by Senator Sherrod Brown.
It's why Senator Portman and I work together on this. It's so important to our state.
Brown is behind the Fentanyl Sanctions Act, which allows the government to impose sanctions on countries that produce and export fentanyl. It's passed the Senate, but still needs approval by the House before it's signed into law.
China's finally agreed to back off production of fentanyl and saying they won't export it anymore, but we want to trust but verify. If they don't, these sanctions on financial transactions and others begin to tighten more on China.
He's hopeful it'll be signed into law within the next few weeks, helping slow an epidemic that remains critical in the community. And as you heard in there, Senator Brown, he has been working with Senator Portman as well. They've worked to pass numerous different bills to address this issue, but he says it's not just about keeping the drugs out of our country. They're also looking at law enforcement, prevention, and also treatment for those suffering from addiction. Reporting live in Westwood, Marielle Carbone, 9 on your side.